Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, the Copper Owl, bringing you a, a Blacktron mock. I bring you Rick's car from Rick and Morty, the Blacktron coloring. Sort of. It's actually a truck. So, yeah. So, I needed a vehicle for my Blacktron, Blacktron characters, and I wanted something for the villain. And originally I was gonna buy the Attack on the Andor Lego set. I was gonna buy that set and just convert it to Blacktron colors and make it a dropship because there's a mod for it where you can turn it into a dropship. So, which I might still do. I might still buy that ship, but instead I made Rick's car because I had this big dome piece from, I believe it's Aqua Raiders. And I was like, what am I going to do with this? And one idea was to make the Space Crooks ship from Scooby-Doo. You know, the alien that goes, whoa, that thing? Yes. So I thought about making that. But then I thought, oh, what about I make a UFO? And so it kind of started becoming more and more like, it became Rick's car from Rick and Morty. It just started like gradually going down that route. And I did want to make a regular UFO, but not only do I not have a dome piece for it, there's like problems in the regular design versus this design. Where this design actually allowed for the canopy piece to actually be placed on, whereas this original design did not. So let's get on to it. So let me talk about the ad by my book, The Cassie's Crossroads, at AuthorHouse and BarnesandNoble.com. Got the AC working, but I kind of have it off right now, and the balaclava is not helping out at all. So you can see it's a truck. The reason why I did that was because I couldn't get the trunk to work. Because, again, it's a solid piece and all that. So, yeah. And I used the crates that I've built. I made it so that I could hold those things. But they have a pretty strong grip on it. That's kind of a little design flaw I made. Is the strength of the grip. See? So, if anything, I might change that. And you can place them like this. There we go. So you can place them long ways if you want. Which is always a pain to get it even. There we go. Looks fine. But I wanted to put a hitch on it, but ultimately I decided not to. And these little ones also fit on it too. You could put them on the side as well, but not really up front. So just side by side. So and the reason why I couldn't put a trailer hitch on it was because I gave it a muffler, and as you could see, I actually gave it an axle. Yeah, gave it a steering axle, but because of how it's connected. Like, this is kind of loose. Like, it kind of gives it a suspension, sort of. Not really, but you can see, like, yeah, it has suspension to it, which was not intended. Gave it the headlights, I gave it the little things on the side, but I put these ladder pieces on there for a reason. So let me show you the figures inside. So, I have Lord, I think his name is Beckett. Supposed to be the villain from Blacktron. I might change out the head because his other side is not as useful. So I made a special pilot figure using the Wretch torso. I just put a Lloyd face on there. But I made two more of these pilots. But I gave them the bounty hunter face. So either I'm going to give them bounty. I'm probably never going to take their helmets off. So I'm probably just going to put the bounty hunter underneath it because I think that's pretty good. That's a pretty good head. Then I made like a second in command figure based off Trioculus from Star Wars. If you do not know who this is, you got to look up the Trioculus series and all that. And then here's the head of the Royal Guard. Give it the Highwayman's head. That Tron helmet. And I think I'm just going to call him Colonel Black, because there is officially a colonel in Blacktron named Colonel Black. So, let's look on the inside. And this piece was such a pain to keep on because it kept wanting to come off that I had to use an older white plate because it just had a stronger grip on it. So this is how I did the seats. I made them using the flag pieces and all that, but also I used these jumpers. And you can see, like, well, I have a hatchet in there, I have a hammer, I have a wrench, I have a machete, and a fire extinguisher. And why do I have those inside this thing? Well, that's a reference to the Russian space program, where they freaking had all these, like a duffel bag full of guns and machetes and all that stuff, because they were anticipating that the ship, when it returned to Earth, would land in the Siberian tundra, and they needed to protect themselves from the bears. So yeah. And I have the various... this blaster is the only one that really worked inside of this. I tried every other blaster, so unless the character is holding the blaster... Oh, crud. So unless the figure is holding said blaster, it's better that you just put the blaster... And you can put it on here, because I do have several of those. But it's harder to take off. It's just better that you put the blaster in there, just on the stud. This is also pretty loose. Keep that in mind. It's the only way that really works. And you can put the bigger blasters like this one in there. It's just a little harder, but I just wanted to show that, yes, it will work. It will fit in there. You got a control panel right there. And you got... I used this piece to be the controls. There is a... I didn't have a solid brick at the moment, so I just used that open one. There is a problem in that there's no weapon system on this ship, because I just didn't design it. So you can use your imagination if the blasts come out of these things, but those to me are the engines. And I put the ladder there for the reason that they could climb onto it. As you can see with that. But I did... I was like worried, like, okay, this thing is just like more like a luxury kind of thing, or it's just like to send out a crew. It's not a war vehicle. I did anticipate that, so I made a cannon to ride on the back, and I even made a gunner for it. Again, using the bounty hunter, you can see it works pretty well with this figure. This is also a very odd Blacktron figure, because this one does not exist. They're not supposed to have dark gray hands. And this one had a black head. For the longest time since I ever got this figure. I think it's my first Blacktron figure, I think. Don't remember where I got it. I've just always had it. And it was just like that. So you can attach this right here. And now they have a weapon system. And let me put the canopy back on. It can adjust, so it can go over the canopy a little bit. So, why did I do that? Well, it's a reference to the whole Toyotas with the cannons with the anti-tank guns on the back seat trunk that were used in Desert Storm. Or was it Desert Storm or the war against Syria? Yeah. So yeah, it's a reference to that. I thought, okay, that looks kind of cool. In all honesty, I really like that. So, and originally this piece right here was supposed to just sit at the front and be this guy's blaster. But it didn't. The previous piece I used for the anti-tank tank, and this one, even though it looks cool, it just didn't hold on too well. So this one hangs on, can be detached to be a blaster, but currently works as its own scope. And I'm probably just going to give him another one of those green blasters. But yeah, so that's Rick's car, and it's I'm not going to get into the building of it because it's very weird. I think, honestly, like, here's it at the bottom. I think you can build something better than what I did, but because a lot of these parts are more for aesthetic purposes and don't really actually hold anything together, I believe. No. There we go. You can see right there. Like, yeah, it's very oddly built and everything. So, and I used the reason why it's these colors. It's a reference to Octane. So it's the Octane ship and all that. It's the Octane and fuel, which I need to make more like canisters of that because I've been using these battery tiles from the New City line as the energy stuff, but I kind of want to just have a bunch of Octane freaking thing because didn't one of the space lines use them? So yeah, I'm probably going to shift to doing that, but some of the things are just going to have those batteries on them. So anyway, thank you all very much for watching. You all have a nice. Oh, and let me show you another neat trick I made with this thing before I forget. As you can see, inside that black plate, the gray plate, this is one of those octagon pieces with the center removed. That's how I got the seats to go in there, to make them like a little lower, but I gave it enough room to put the accessories in them. So that's why I did that. Okay. Thank you all very much. You all have a nice day. Bye-bye.